Indian economic updates. The world of offshore logistics and sea shipping is on the cusp of a revolution, driven by innovations like Regent Sea Gliders and Airfish Winging Ground Effect vehicles. These technologies promise a new era of energy-efficient and rapid maritime transport, fundamentally changing how goods and personnel move across water. Regent Sea Gliders, such as the Viceroy and the larger Monarch, are all-electric or hybrid electric vehicles designed to operate primarily in ground effect, flying just meters above the water's surface. This skimming reduces aerodynamic drag significantly, offering speeds far greater than traditional ferries, up to 180 miles per hour, and considerably lower operating costs and emissions than aircraft. Their ability to take off and land on water, utilizing existing dock infrastructure, makes them highly versatile for coastal transport, island hopping, and critical offshore logistics like transferring personnel to wind farms and oil platforms. Regent has secured substantial commercial and military contracts, indicating a strong market belief in their potential. Similarly, Airfish Wing Craft, developed by Cend Engineering Airx, leverage the same ground effect principle. These vessels aim to be 3 times faster than conventional marine craft, offering enhanced fuel efficiency and reduced carbon emissions compared to seaplanes and helicopters. Built with lightweight composite materials and powered by automotive engines, Airfish vehicles are designed for safe, sustainable, and swift coastal travel, cargo delivery, and even military and public services. This winging round effect technology heralds a new era in sea shipping. By bridging the gap between traditional ships and aircraft, winging round vehicles offer a unique combination of speed, payload capacity, and energy efficiency. While challenges remain, such as operability in rough seas and regulatory frameworks, the significant advantages in reduced transit times, low fuel consumption, and environmental impact are undeniable. This shift contributes to a broader industry trend towards smart, green shipping, incorporating AI, automation, and alternative fuels to meet growing demands for sustainability and cost efficiency. India has taken a significant step in defense modernization with the indigenous production of the AK-203 assault rifle, codenamed Sher. Manufactured at the Korwa facility in Amethi, Uttar Pradesh, under the Indonesia Rifles Private Limited joint venture, the 7.62 by 39 mm AK-203 is part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India initiatives. Initially, 70,000 rifles were imported during 2021-22, followed by the assembly of semi-knockdown kits starting in early 2023. By mid-2025, around 48,000 rifles had been delivered with 50% indigenous content, and full indigenization is expected by December 2025, with an annual production capacity projected to exceed 100,000 units. Featuring a 415 mm barrel, an unloaded weight of approximately 3.8 kilograms, an effective range of 800 meters, and a 30-round magazine, the AK-203 incorporates modern elements such as Picatinny rails, polymer furniture, corrosion-resistant materials, and an adjustable folding stock, making it durable and adaptable for various combat scenarios. The Indian Army plans to procure over 600,000 rifles to replace the aging INSAR series, while law enforcement agencies like the Kerala Police and Central Armed Police Forces (CAPFs) have also started adopting the weapon. With full technology transfer underway, India is set to become a key regional hub for AK series rifle production and export, targeting markets in Southeast Asia, Africa, and friendly nations seeking modern assault rifles. Priced competitively at 85,000 rupees to 90,000 rupees per unit, the AK-203 provides a cost-effective, dependable, and durable solution suited for both conventional warfare and counterinsurgency missions. Its development reflects a successful model of international cooperation while reinforcing India's strategic goal of achieving defense self-reliance. As a symbol of this commitment, the AK-203 Sher showcases the fusion of Russian firearm engineering with India's growing manufacturing expertise, enhancing national security and establishing India as a key contender in the global defense industry. India has successfully navigated a fertilizer crisis triggered by China's abrupt halt on diammonium phosphate (DAP) exports, a move widely viewed as supply chain weaponization amid the Kharif season and India's Operation Sindoor against Pakistan. Beijing reportedly suspended inspections and export clearances in May and June, effectively strangling shipments to India. With domestic diammonium phosphate stocks dwindling, opening May stocks fell to 1.25 metric tons from 2.8 metric tons last year. New Delhi launched a discreet yet far-reaching diplomatic campaign. Saudi Arabia emerged as a key partner, signing a long-term agreement with Indian firms, including Indian Potash Limited, IPL, Krishak Bharti Cooperative Limited, Kripco, and Coal India Limited, CIL, via Saudi Arabia's Ma'aden, Saudi Arabian Mining Company, to supply 3.1 metric tons annually over 5 years, with a renewal option. Alongside this, Morocco committed around 0.5 metric tons, collectively covering approximately 1.5 metric tons of the 2.2 metric tons ordinarily sourced from China. Remaining gaps, roughly 0.7 metric tons, are expected to be filled through domestic reserves and potential Russian imports, as fertilizer remains outside international sanctions. India is also exploring additional sources such as Egypt, Nigeria, Tunisia, Jordan, and Russia. These proactive steps reflect a broader Indian strategy aimed at reducing dependence on a single country and shielding its farmers from geopolitical trade risks. The successful negotiations are expected to guarantee an adequate supply of diammonium phosphate ahead of the upcoming Rabi sowing season. In the near term, the government seems to have secured enough stock for distribution starting in late July. However, the situation underscores the pressing need to diversify supply chains and minimize exposure to geopolitical pressure in key sectors. India, aspiring to evolve into a $7 trillion economy by 2030, is witnessing an unprecedented infrastructure renaissance across transportation, energy, urban development, and strategic sectors. This sweeping transformation is set to catalyze economic growth, enhance nationwide connectivity, and elevate India's standing on the global stage. From high-speed rail corridors and renewable energy gigaparks to cutting-edge industrial hubs and coastal logistics zones, 10 flagship megaprojects are at the heart of this national push. These initiatives not only reflect India's vision for sustainable and inclusive growth but also promise to generate millions of jobs, bridge regional disparities, and strengthen long-term economic resilience. Number 1. Mumbai-Ahmedabad High-Speed Rail Corridor. India's flagship high-speed rail initiative covers 508 kilometers between Mumbai and Ahmedabad, leveraging Japanese Shinkansen technology. Trial runs using the E5 trains are slated for FY 2026-27, followed by full commercial operations with the E10 trains by 2030. The journey time will shrink to under 3 hours, marking a leap in intercity mobility. Number 2. Gujarat Hybrid Renewable Energy Park Kutch. Covering 72,600 ha, this hybrid solar wind facility aims for a 30 gigawatts capacity, enough to power 18 million households. Its first 1 gigawatt came online in March 2024, with full commissioning due by 2026. It is pivotal in India's plan to hit 500 gigawatts of non-fossil power by 2030. Number 3. Reliance Dhirubhai Ambani Green Energy Giga Complex. Reliance is investing 75,000 crore rupees in Jamnagar for an integrated green energy ecosystem, solar modules, battery cells, electrolyzers, and fuel cells, targeting a 100 gigawatt-hours annual production by 2030. Number 4. Bharatmala Pariyojana. This national highway initiative encompasses 83,000 plus kilometers of roads, economic corridors, feeder routes, and strategic connectors. It forms the backbone of India's freight logistics transformation. Number 5. Chennai-Bangalore Industrial Corridor and Expressway. Powered by Japan International Cooperation Agency and National Industrial Corridor Development Corporation, this industrial corridor and dedicated expressway freight rail corridor will connect Chennai, Bangalore, and intermediate nodes. The expressway's first section opened in December 2024, with full functionality expected by August 2025. Number 6. Vadhavan Deep Sea Port and Sagarmala. Under the Sagarmala initiative, India is deepening port-led development. The 76,200 crore rupees Vadhavan port in Maharashtra is a keystone in this plan, set to bolster maritime logistics and global competitiveness by 2030. Number 7. Kanpur EV Manufacturing Park. The 500-acre EV park costing 700 crore rupees will be established along the freight corridor. Slated for 2025 rollout, it will produce motors, batteries, lithium cells, and power electronics, fostering a national EV supply ecosystem. Number 8. Arunachal Pradesh Hydropower Projects. With 1 lakh rupees crore in investment, the state is adding 18,000 megawatts via large plants like Lower Subansiri, 2,000 megawatts, and Dibang, 2,880 megawatts. These projects strengthen regional energy security and hydropower capacity. Number 9. Great Nicobar Island Strategic Development. A 75,000 crore rupees multi-decade plan includes a deep-sea port, a greenfield airport, coastal smart cities, and power infrastructure. Serving India's strategic interests in the Indo-Pacific, it's slated for phased completion by 2030. And finally, number 10, Smart Industrial Cities under NICDC. National Industrial Corridor Development is building 11 industrial corridors and 12 smart nodes, backed by 28,602 crore rupees to promote manufacturing, IT, MSMEs, and urban equity. India's bold investment in these 10 mega projects, totaling several trillion rupees, spans seamless transportation, bullet trains and expressways, clean energy production, massive renewable and hydro projects, cutting-edge manufacturing, EVs and green energy gigafactories, and strategic infrastructure, ports, islands, industrial corridors. They promise to create millions of direct and indirect jobs, narrow regional disparities, and lay the foundation for a greener, more interconnected, and economically resilient India. Execution challenges such as land acquisition, environmental regulation, and coordination remain significant. Yet with clear timelines, international partnerships, and focused policy support, these initiatives are likely to materialize. By 2030, India is set not just to grow, but to be reborn as a global infrastructure powerhouse, driven by innovation, inclusivity, and sustainability.